We are recording. Hello, YouTube people. That's the 3 seconds you get that nobody else does.
YouTube, no, Facebookers.
Facebookers are coming up. First we record, then we stream.
Oh, well, that's true.
It's live, and we shouldn't be. I took out 3 of the cameras, so the CPU should be a little bit happier today. Let me bring up the Technorama page. Hi, if you're just joining us on Facebook, this is the Technorama pre-show where Craig and I are getting ready for our podcast that we do. Technorama is the show about tech, science, sci-fi, and all things geek. We're just making sure that the live stream is up and running, and I almost unfollowed my own page. That would have been bad. Click. Everybody's probably watching something else. Nobody home yet. The notices are going out. Phones are beeping all over the globe. Bling, 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 bling. Technorama is on the air.
Yeah, there's one in Europe and one in the U.S.
We'll catch up to HQ eventually if we start giving out $250,000 in prizes every night.
Yeah. Okay, so I found out that some people would go to church with their kids were watching Technorama.
This show?
Yes, I was like, really?
And they had to go to confession.
Yeah, well, they come down. They came. They said they came down.
Forgive me, Father, for I have watched Technorama.
They came down and were telling, speaking to Ann, a friend of ours, and she's like, they're like, hey, did you hear, you know what I heard on Technorama? And, they've been listening to my show. I was like, oh, gosh. It's kind of funny.
Sort of like when Dave Slusher discovered some of his coworkers. He says, oh, my gosh, Chuck Tomasi is listening to Mad at Dad. I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Yeah.
he really lets his hair down on that show.
Well, luckily, we've had a pretty good policy about keeping it family friendly, so it's not.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't freaking out too bad.
Don't worry about.
Yeah, we don't have to have a disclaimer like you do on Evil Genius.
I do not speak for my company. If I did, it would be overhead.
I know, right? Yeah.
And my company does not speak for me. We should probably say something like that. This has nothing to do with our day jobs. Although it's a gray area because our day jobs really are geeky and our hobbies and lives are really geeky anyway.
Well, they actually encourage a lot of social media, as around the company. So right. I don't necessarily rule it out. Again, I'm not posting pictures of myself drinking with ServiceNow shirts, or whatever. That's later. But
yeah. That's in Vegas. Knowledge. That's the day job.
No, but yeah, I mean, it's just common sense stuff on social media, but
right.
I'm not opposed to blending them a little bit. Because we're going to be posting pics while we're in Vegas or doing whatever, and so
if you watch the videos I do for work, you will often see this Technorama mic flag right there.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no getting around it. This is one studio. I do a lot of work content in this studio.
On the back side of that flag, you should just put a ServiceNow and just rotate it. Yeah. Hey, podcasting for dummies, Technorama. ServiceNow.
The topic is track. Oh, wait, we don't have a camera on that show yet.
No.
I need a 4-sided flag. I need a 20-sided flag.
Sided flag for all the shows you do.
Right. Renegade, didn't you leave me one of those?
He probably did. There's probably several.
Got a 20-sided flag. His just said like Farpoint Media and Sirius XM on it.
Oh, yeah. Go look up in the attic. There's a whole box of them up there.
Yeah, but they all say things like pod holes. They're all obsolete shows that don't exist anymore. Winging It 3D. Oh, I got a bottle opener for one of those.
I did too. Actually, my Winging It, I don't think it works very well.
No, my first one broke because a second one came with the house. I don't dare use it or it'll break.
There's a box of those right beside the mic flags.
That and Slice of Sci-Fi t-shirts. We should have like you need to draw a comic of crap left in the attic.
Yeah. What did Michael leave in the house?
And some skeleton with a microphone.
Yeah. Actually, I was showing my dad and some of the guys we run with your house. I was like, because one of the guys I run with, he excuse me, he has a house he has on Airbnb.
Yeah.
And I think I mentioned it to you because I offered to have him. I said I can get you in touch with Chuck when he was investigating the idea of using Airbnb. But I guess they jumped all into it because he's been doing it for a while now. It's been working out. So I said, well, here's this house. And they're like, whoa. Because I pulled it up on satellite and said, there's the mother-in-law suite, right off the side.
That's where you're staying. We'll mention that at the end of the show. But Craig is coming out to Phoenix, and we are going to be doing a live show here in the Binary Studio with him in here May 13th.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, they were impressed by your house. What I was getting at.
Well, thank you. We lucked out. We feel very fortunate and blessed, and I have something in my eye that will not stop.
And of course, I proceeded to tell him how Michael half moved out. The studio stayed, and some furnishings here and there, and
some friends.
Every time I'm out there, or we're all talking, it's like, oh yeah, it's over there in the corner, behind the whatever.
I thought it was really funny the first time Ben and Keith were over here. And they went into the pantry closet, and they knew where their cups are that were here when they when they'd come over for Mike's podcast.
They were still there.
You guys want something to drink? Oh yeah, we'll just get our cups. I didn't even know those were there.
That's funny. Scary, but funny.
Yeah, he didn't really take a lot of stuff with him. I think we had to take the trash out after he left.
He probably loaded it up in the trunk of his car and just moved over there. Went to his new house.
Took his wife, his cat. And that was pretty much it.
Yeah, cat. Yeah.
Alrighty. Shall we begin?
I'm ready. We're 10 minutes over.
Yeah. Well, it's the pre-show banter. We like that.
Oh, let me get the Facebook page up.
I'm warming up and checking audio levels, and mine is a little low. So let me boost that back up. Level. Check. Welcome to Technorama. Craig, give me a level check.
La.
Okay.
Check.
I need to back you up.
Hello, John Miller.
Hello, John Miller Jr. Okay, let me check the intro. We're not recording yet.
Good morning, folks. This is your captain speaking.
Technorama.
Remember when?
Just a little.
Check.
Okay, I think we're ready.
Alrighty.
And here we go.
Only 250 days left in this year? Wow.
Stop. Everything is coming up way too fast. I don't need a countdown.
I know, right?
Here we go. Get to the top of the page. Technorama episode 531, Sherlock Ohms.
Good morning, folks. This is your captain speaking.
Technorama.
Remember when?
Technorama.
On this day in tech history.
Tech.
And now, the news.
Tech.
What the chuck?
Technorama.
Welcome to Blockhead Video.
Speaking of things in the attic, I found this overdue rental VHS of Highlander in my entertainment center.
Over there, in the media corner.
Technorama.
Hold my beer and watch this.
Unfasten your seatbelts and disregard all safety rules. Here are your flight crew, Chuck and Craig.
Hey, Chuck, I think Michael must have left that.
Yeah, came with the house.
Yeah.
Highlander 2, Highlander 3, Highlander 4. You get the idea. You know, if I had the original source material, I would make that guy sound more bored now. Over there in the media corner. He's been doing this for like 13 years.
Over there in the media corner.
Hey, welcome to Technorama. This is the show that takes a lighthearted look at tech, science, sci-fi, and all things geek. If you're joining us for the first time, thank you very much. If you're returning, welcome back. We appreciate you giving us your time. Whether you are listening or viewing this on Facebook, YouTube, or wherever you get your content, we really, really appreciate it. I am Chuck Tomasi, and with me as always is Craig Stepp. How are you, Craig?
I am well, sir.
I think you need to have your camera down just a little bit. The lower third's like cutting you off at the nose.
Is that better? I can't see my own camera. Let's see.
Okay, there you go. What, Skype doesn't give you any kind of feedback?
There we go. I had it minimized. Okay, there you go.
I minimize Skype.
Yeah. Well, when I do, actually on Windows, when I do, it gives me like a mini window of just you. So
yeah,
that's why I was like, I don't need to see myself.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
In the bathroom and look at the mirror.
Careful.
It's a mirror.
I know. I'm not going there. We have some feedback.
We did.
We got some mail. We got some mail.
Letters. Oh, we get letters. We get your letters every
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Mailman, mailman.
Oh, boy.
Reach right in and pull one out. Those letters.
Oh, boy.
Wait a
I
minute.
love those
The
letters.
mailman actually opened our
Let's
mail.
find out what you got to say. Oh, boy. Mailman.
Yes, that's the mailman opening our letters. Oh, boy.
He reached in, pulled one out, and then opened it.
Is that a federal crime? Last I checked, it was.
Hey, look.
Maybe they got something to do with Facebook's privacy. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
We got one from Charles Stell. It says, "Hi, Chuck. Hey, my suggestion for your domicile is the Faraday cage." All right. We must have asked what we should name our house once upon a time, because some people name their homes, some people name their cars. I do recall having a discussion similar to that at least once in the last 12 years.
Mhm.
And
Oh, yeah. No, remember we were talking about, I mentioned beach houses, and you mentioned naming.
Oh, yes. My parents' houses, Casa del
Yeah.
Lago and Harbor Ridge. Yeah.
That's
Well,
what
I was thinking something about like the Cactus Sunset or something. I don't know. Don and I haven't figured that out. We've been here
That's-
3.5 years and still haven't named the
that's too
thing.
poetic, man.
Binary Studio is the studio within the Faraday cage. I'm kind of liking that one for some reason.
Solar system, the Faraday cage.
Not sure if that's going to hang out on the mailbox or not.
You're right.
He also concludes, "Still listening out in the piney woods." Thank you, Charles. Always good to hear from you. It has been a long time. Charles is one of our long time listeners,
Yes, he is.
and we appreciate it.
It has been a long time. I'm sorry, Charles, but you're stuck with us.
It's an addiction, I'll tell you. Once you're hooked on Technorama. All right, you want the next one?
Sure. My good old buddy, John Miller Jr., he says, "I wanted to get an original story on the Letters, We Get Letters song that you guys use. Hopefully you'll get this letter, play the jingle, read this letter, and accept all of this was done for the sake of getting you to play the jingle. Hashtag, I like that jingle. Your loyal fan, John Miller Jr. P.S. Notice me."
That is true Technorama thought pattern right there. I got nothing else. You are just messing with us. The story, the origin story, I'm pretty certain that's like a Digital Juice thing.
Yeah, it came in the Digital Juice. I think, Michael. I think it came from Michael or somebody like that.
Well, he did give me his Digital Juice collection.
Yeah. So that's it. So I think that's where it came from. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, didn't they play that on David Letterman too?
I don't think it was that one specifically. I think it was something else, something similar.
Oh, okay.
And I know there was one on, I think Ken Rakowski used to play one that's similar on, what was his podcast? I can't think. He does a couple of them. He's got one now on cryptocurrency called Coin DMZ. And I'm not sure what his, it's been a long time since I listened to the other one.
Okay.
All I remember is the way he starts out his show. It's a World Technology Roundup for Tuesday. Anyway, shall we go into the history?
Yes.
And
let's
I will
do.
apologize now. There are some names that we are going to have issue with, both of us.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Right.
Here we go. On this day in history for April 25th, 2018, this is the 115th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar. There are 250 days remaining in 2018. It was on this date in 1792 that highwayman Nicholas J. Pelletier becomes the first person executed by guillotine.
On April 25th, I didn't find the guillotine part very funny. I don't know why I laughed. On April 25th, 1792, by Marcel, the French national anthem is composed by Claude Joseph Roget de Lille.
And that was not French at all.
No. Not at all.
Well, we apologize at the top of the show to take care of all that. It was also today in 1859, British and French engineers break ground for the Suez Canal.
And on April 25th, 1901, New York becomes the first U.S. state to require automobile license plates.
Can you imagine the story behind that? Officer, it was a black something that went
Model
that way.
T. Yeah.
Did you?
It's a black Ford.
I don't even think the black Ford was out yet, but
Right.
it must have been terrible confusion with more and more of them coming on the scene.
I have a feeling this has to do with taxes more than anything.
I don't know. I think it was a way to identify.
Follow the money.
Also today in 1944, the United Negro College Fund is incorporated because a mind is a terrible thing to waste.
In April 25th, 1945, founding negotiations for the United Nations begin in San Francisco as part of the United Nations Conference on International Organization.
Also today in... I know, I copy and pasted something a little off there. Also today in 1953, Francis Crick and James Watson publish Molecular Structure of Nucleic Acid, a structure of deoxyribose nucleic acid, describing the double helix structure of DNA.
Also on April 25th, 1954, the first practical solar cell is publicly demonstrated by Bell Telephone Laboratories.
1954. You get that, kids? That's
Yeah.
a long time ago for solar cells.
Yes.
And I saw a Tesla wall in Home Depot. Now I want one.
I'm sure you do. It'll go with your...
It would go with the solar cells, and it would help us to stop drawing from the grid at night. Wouldn't that be nice?
That's right.
April 25th, 1959, the St. Lawrence Seaway. 1959. You think the St. Lawrence Seaway is a lot longer than that, but it must have had to do with the locks around Niagara Falls or something. Linking the North American Great Lakes and Atlantic Ocean officially opens to shipping.
And also on this day in 1960, the United States Navy submarine USS Triton completes the first submerged circumnavigation of the globe.
Nicely done. It went around the globe underwater all at once. Cool. Also today, April 25th, 1983, Pioneer 10 travels beyond Pluto's orbit.
Oh, look!
Pluto wasn't there at the time. They missed.
I'm wearing my Pluto shirt.
All right, here we go. Let's have some fun with the birthdays. Happy birthday goes out on this date to Scottish astronomer and author James Ferguson, born on this date in 1710.
And Felix Klein, the German mathematician and academic, was born 169 years ago. I'm sure he's celebrating right now.
We're just warming up. American engineer and inventor Charles Sumner Tainter was born 164 years ago today.
And John Moissant, the American pilot and engineer, was born on that same date in 1868.
Italian businessman and inventor who developed Marconi's Law. Bet you can't guess what his name is.
I don't know.
Guillermo Marconi, born on this date in 1874. I want to invent Tomasi's Law. Something that will live on past me. Like, all the light bulbs in your house cannot be live at the same time. One will always be burned out, and when you replace that burned out, another one will burn out. Because you can't have all the light bulbs on at the same time.
It's more like any name that can be mispronounced. It will be.
And here we go. Let's try this next one. That'll be Steps Law.
Yeah. Born April 25th, 1903, Russian mathematician and academic Audrey Kolmogorov.
Mouth of marbles. William Pereira, the American architect, designed the Transamerica Pyramid, was born 109 years ago today.
An American singer, Ella Fitzgerald, was born on this date in 1917.
Ella Fitzgerald. I can't do an Ella Fitzgerald. Was the wreck of the Ella Fitzgerald.
No.
Born April 25th, 1918, French-American astronomer and academic Gerard de Vaucouleur. Vacuum cleaner.
Also turning 95 today is English astronomer and academic Francis Graham Smith.
Oh, you are lucking out today. I get the Russian mathematician and physicist Felix Berezin. Was born 87 years ago today.
And also born on this same date in 1932, Russian astrophysicist Nikolai Kardashev.
Oh, yeah, he's related to the Kardashians.
I was just going to say the same thing.
He was also on DS9. He was one of the Kardashians.
Right.
Roger Boisjolly, the American aerodynamicist and engineer, was born 80 years ago today.
And also turning 78 is American actor, director Al Pacino.
Say hello to my little friend. American actor, voice artist, comedian, and producer Hank Azaria was born in the state in 1964. Take us home, Craig.
And American puppeteer and voice actor John Henson was born 53 years ago today.
Woohoo! That's the way it was on this day in history for April 25th, 2018. But wait, there's listener birthdays. We have Shepherd Tom from Outside the Known Universe. Not sure where that is.
He'll be showing up sometime soon.
He's got a goatee. He's in another dimension.
That's right.
We also have, he's on the 29th, also on the 29th, Timothy Carr. These are some new names, or I don't remember them from previous years very well.
I was going to say the same thing. Either we skipped over them by accident because
we were off on vacation or business travel or whatever. That could be. They could have been there for 3 years, and we just never hit this week yet. But thank you very much. And Julio Diaz, another longtime listener, April 30th. That's the birthday of my long dear departed grade school friend, Chris, as well. Thank you for your birthdays. If you want to be on the birthday calendar, go to chuckchat.com/wiki, and you can be on there, and we will give you a shout-out, as we assume some of the other people have done, is put their name on there, and we will give you a shout-out at the appropriate time of year. It doesn't matter if you're listening to this at a different time of year. If it is your birthday and you're not on the calendar, we wish you all the best and have a happy birthday.
And if we missed your birthday already this year, just keep listening until next year.
And go back and put it on the calendar.
Yeah, put it on the calendar and then catch up next year.
You know, I think April 25th is actually, we picked that as the approximate date of our cat, who would now be 7. The one who was sticking his paw under the door at the beginning of the show.
Hey, let me in.
He can. Yeah. One of these days, he's going to rip that door off the hinges.
Yeah, just he's going to Hulk out and rip it off.
I want food. He's the size of the Hulk. All right, we have
Good news, everyone.
Well, I don't know if this is good news or not, but there's a man who claims that eating fruit every day for 8 years has made him superhuman.
I think he ate only fruit.
Only fruit. I think that would make me super indigested.
A lot of sugar.
You gotta have more to your diet than just fruit. I'm
I don't
waiting
know.
for this auto
Read on. Let's find out.
ad to get out of my way.
Yeah.
Mizuki Nakano, a former professor at the University of Tokyo in Japan, has been consuming only fruit for the last 8 years, even shunning water and relying on fruit juices for hydration. He recently came on a Japanese TV show to say his fruit-only diet has caused his body to somehow convert nitrogen in the air into protein it needs. Somehow. Keep in mind, folks, this is from odditycentral.com.
Hey, is there enough protein floating in the air for him to just absorb it through osmosis? Or
like Khan when he wakes up.
Hey, he's standing outside of a barbecue restaurant.
Okay. In September of 2009, Mizuki Nakano decided to see what would happen to his body if he consumed nothing but fruit all day, every day. Even back then, the scientific consensus was that a balanced diet that contained enough protein, fat, and carbohydrates was the best way to go. But that relying solely on fruits for nutrition would deprive his body of needed nutrients and potentially cause serious health problems. But Nakano noticed that there was no scientific research on the long-term effects of eating only fruit. So he started an experiment with himself as the guinea pig. I would have eaten a guinea pig. And he's got a Twitter page. I'm waiting for the scroll. I'm having some latency problems here. Too many ads on the page.
Oh, you need an ad blocker. Oh, my gosh.
Wow, this is
There you go. Let me read
horrific. The switch to an all-fruit diet didn't happen overnight. Instead, the former university professor gradually increased his fruit intake to the point where he consumed only fruits and even eliminated water from his diet, relying instead on fruit juices for hydration. He started documenting his diet on his Amiblo blog. That's just a hard word to say. Amiblo blog.
Say that 3 times fast.
Kind of fun. Amiblo blog. And eventually word of his unusual experiment reached Japanese media. In 2015, Nakano was invited on the popular variety show Matsuko's Unknown World, where he talked about his experience and the health benefits of eating fruits. His appearance was much talked about online at the time, but has stopped making TV appearances. There was a rumor that the former professor had died of undernourishment. To some, that just made sense since he couldn't get protein from vitamin B12 out of fruit. However, Mizuki Nakano recently made his return on Matsuko's Unknown World, both to dispel rumors that he died, and to share a startling and fascinating discovery with the world. Not only has he been thriving on an all-fruit diet, but he claims he has evolved into a superhuman.
He now has gills and he has webbed fingers.
He turned into a fruit bat. According to Sora News 24, Nakano told the TV show host that the complete lack of protein in his diet combined with the long-term fruit consumption has caused a special type of bacteria to grow in his body, which are apparently capable of converting nitrogen in the air into much-needed protein. The fruit lover added that the researchers who studied him were stunned by the discovery. I can imagine. At this point, Mizuki Nakano claims are purely anecdotal, and there is no proof that any researchers have even studied him, let alone found some super bacteria in his body. However, Sora News 24 emphasizes the lack of scientific research into long-term fruit-only diet makes it difficult to flat-out write his claims as bogus. I'm going to stop there.
I'm going to tell you, I think it sounds bogus because even if you say, hey, I'm going to eat only fruit, all the fruits are different. It's not like, I don't know. It just doesn't seem, something doesn't add up there.
No, balanced
you know what I'm saying,
diet, folks. Balanced diet.
I mean, it's one thing to eat an apple and it's another thing to eat an orange. It's two different types of fruit. What are you going to, you have to mix them up. I don't know.
Well,
you're going to kill your wallet
he
too.
isn't going to get scurvy. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, so I don't know. It just doesn't seem right.
No, that's the point of the whole story, Craig.
I know.
Doesn't seem right. We're going to find it. We're going to tell you about it.
Why am I trying to make sense out of it? I don't know.
Speaking of the hacks and strange
By the way,
stories.
John Miller Jr. said, hey,
What? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
John Miller Jr. said, let me guess. He became diabetic. That's a lot of sugar, a bunch of fruit. Seriously.
But it's natural sugars.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
take the next one. It's come to this.
From Geekology. So it's come to this. Urinals that play video ads while you pee.
Now, we've been on road trips and we've stopped at, the Flying J or one of those truck stops. And you go into the restroom and there's printed ads in front of you. Right? You'll see CB radio
like newspapers and stuff.
Yeah. And I've seen videos before. They were in Vegas, and they were of things I wouldn't normally watch videos for.
Right. I think I remember that too. So anyway, this is a new advertising urinal. Although they can also display news or company info instead for workplace environments by Dutch toilet manufacturer Mr. Friendly. I like the name, actually, for a toilet.
That sounds like a colloquialism for what you call your...
Yeah. What's your name for your special purpose? Mr. Friendly. Anyway, I've always had to seem to... who I always seem to run into in the public restrooms. It is a wireless urinal with a small screen on the top that displays video ads whenever motion is detected. A couple of problems. One, it just gives men something to aim at when they should be focusing on their effort and making it into the toilet. Number two, while not just install screens on above the toilet.
Above the toilet, yes.
At least have a guy who wouldn't be able to hit it without risking peeing on his own eyes. I still do. And number three, yeah, the guy said I could still do it though. Number three, who looks down when they pee. Anyways, I stare straight ahead at the wall in front of me
and inspect the
think
grout.
about waterfalls. Huh? Yeah.
It's Waterfalls Pandora. Waterfalls on Pandora.
I don't quite think of that either.
No, but now I'm going to be not waterfalls, but more like water fountains or water features, where you hear that little trickling stream.
Well, when you start, you kind of look down to make sure everything's cool, and then just kind of look ahead. Oh, that's what I do. I see. You know what gets me is when I see guys with their hand on the wall. I'm like, why?
Have a balancing problem.
I know. I've seen people put their hand on the wall. I'm like, what are you doing?
It's sort of like those people in church when they raise their hands up like that.
Yeah. Praying to the urinal god.
He's been drinking. He's stabilizing himself. So, yeah,
actually,
no, this doesn't make sense. This is clearly not an integration opportunity. It would make more sense to have the video on the wall, because that way, if the video goes out or the technology needs servicing, you can do it independent of the porcelain structure.
This is about as interesting to me as watching video at the gas pump.
Oh, if you hit the keys just right, you can mute it.
Oh, is there a key? Is there
there are some pumps.
Secret code?
Yeah. I said, code. please stop. And I just went, bam, 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 bam. Oh, good. I don't know what I did, but it stopped. It was
only
still
got
playing
$1
video.
for the gas in your car. Everything.
The meter starts going faster. We just jacked up the price for not watching the ad.
Yeah, I just hate that. When
some you can mute, some you can't.
Yeah, probably. But I just get that. That in itself is aggravating, because I'm like, okay, I'm kind of stuck here, and I got to watch this stupid video.
I'll go wash the windshield.
Yeah. I remember one gas pump, I kept seeing the same video as Jimmy Fallon doing a bit on The Tonight Show, and then they would show the guy doing movie reviews, then it would go to somebody else, and then they'd come back to Jimmy Fallon. I'm like, how many times do I got to watch this in a loop? Anyway.
Oh, it's like the stuff they show before the movie trailers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And you keep seeing the same dentist office come up about every 7 minutes.
Yeah. Or, Coca-Cola showing you the fantastic movie that some independent filmmaker made of their product.
Alrighty. I'm going to stop going to Oddity Central if they keep throwing these ads in my face. We have a story about Costa Rican inmates who use trained cats to smuggle in mobile phones.
Wait.
What?
You can train a cat?
Somebody can. Todd is trainable, and he could probably take about 10 cell phones because he's a big cat. You could use him like a pack mule.
Just Velcro him to his back.
All you got to do is stick him in an oven mitt. He'll bring it to you at 9 p.m. every night.
What?
That's his thing. I never told you. I told you about Todd. His nighttime routine. He will go find an oven mitt in our house. Well, we've dedicated one to this purpose.
Yeah.
And he catches it like it's a mouse, and then he brings it into the bedroom. You can hear him come walking down the hall. Meow, meow,
yeah.
meow.
Yeah.
And he will find you and deliver it to you and expect a reward. So you go, good boy.
We got a little basket on the floor, and it's got a bunch of cat toys in it, and we got an older cat, and he does that with all of the toys out of there. He'll pull them out, and he'll start doing it. Yeah, over the course of the night. I'm like, we're trying to sleep here, and he's like, rrr, rrr. I'm like,
just leave one toy in there. Didn't you learn yet? Apparently, we have an infestation of oven mitts because Todd has to go catch them.
Where'd this one come from? Oh, Michael must have left it there.
And then I'll take it and I'll throw it back down the hall, and 10 minutes later, he comes back and I got another one.
That's what I'm saying. Donna goes, I don't remember this oven mitt. Oh, it was Michael's.
No, it was a gray one from our old house.
Oh, okay.
And then if you leave the current one that we cook with out, he will grab that. He'll try to. So we try not to leave the real one out.
It would be funny if the cat starts rummaging through some boxes and pulls one out that
we didn't recognize.
Yeah.
All righty.
Yes.
All right, let's read about this, shall we?
Why not?
Oh, God, get this ad out. Every time I scroll up, the ad gets in the way.
I'm going to send you a link to an ad.
Please do, for Chrome. Okay, the press office of the Costa Rican Ministry of Justice didn't specify where exactly the cat was caught or how staff managed to spot its valuable cargo, but it did state that it was the second, quote, trained cat intercepted by prison guards in the last couple of weeks. But why would someone go through the trouble of training a cat to smuggle stuff into prison? Well, simply put, It's safer than having human visitors do it and cheaper than bribing prison staff. A couple of years ago, guards at another Costa Rican prison captured a, quote, narco pigeon carrying 14 grams of cocaine and 14 grams of marijuana for someone on the inside.
Oh.
All right. Let's keep reading. This story can't possibly get any better. Pigeons definitely have a higher chance of delivering their cargo, but they can only carry light loads. Cats, on the other hand, can apparently carry a full mobile phone kit with ease, with case, headphones, and battery recharging pack. I'm just made that last part up.
Yeah, right.
And phones are a valuable commodity for inmates, helping them coordinate the criminal business from inside, pressure witnesses, and even performing phone and email scams. Costa Rica has been trying... Hello, I've got your cat.
Yeah.
They've been trying to ban cell phone reception in penitentiaries for years, but the proposed law has been stuck in constitutional arguments and legislative processes since 2016. Wouldn't be a shame if someone put a Faraday cage around the prison. And there is a video with a news article. Gato intendo meter celular a la reforma. What do you say?
So John Miller Jr., we should have him on the show sometime. He says, I think the pigeon is skimming some of the coke from the stash.
He's got to have his cut. 2 grams for me, 14 for the prisoner.
Yeah, and the cat gets nothing.
Yeah, what does the cat get out of this for hauling phones?
Little treat.
Alrighty, there's our crazy, strange stories. We actually have some other stuff coming up in the news right after this. Stick with us because we have Remember When that you may want to stick around for. Of course, our patrons and a couple stories in the media corner. So be right back. Hang on.
Program and applications. I'm Ben, and I am Keith, and we are the Two Gay Geeks. We are the nerds behind TG Geeks Webcast, where we talk about sci-fi, comics, film, horror, audio. You name it, we talk about it. We release an episode every Monday morning at 6 a.m. Eastern. You can find us on iTunes, Blueberry, Spreaker, Stitcher, and iHeartRadio. Also, look us up on YouTube. And of course, we can be found at tggeeks.com, where you can find not only our webcast, but articles about other geeky goodness. So come along for the wildest ride in the potosphere. Did you just say potosphere?
Hi, this is Edward James Olmos, Battlestar Commander Adama, and you're listening to Chuck and Craig on Technorama. Don't forget, frack off.
The lady singing in the background. You should be on radio.
Yeah.
Alrighty, we have. I scrolled down a little too far. Right over this. Remember, we are on Facebook every Sunday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We want to see you there. Join our Facebook page and get notified automatically when we go on the air. That's how it works. We also upload this to YouTube the following morning, and it comes out in audio podcast form on Tuesday night. All of these are, of course, U.S. time, so if you're in Australia, just add a few hours. You're okay.
I don't know why I thought you were going to say it comes out in bulk. I don't know why I was...
No, it comes out a burlap sack. We try and chuck it over the bridge and drown it in the creek.
I don't know where I was getting that bulk from. Okay. It's been a long day.
Oh, my.
Oh, wait, shout out to the chat room. So we have Tim Elliott and John Miller Jr. hanging out there, and I saw my cousin pop in. I shared this on Facebook, and I see John Clifford. Oh, Jade Flores, and then John Clifford. That's all I see right now.
Oh, Clinton's not out there.
I know.
What's up with that?
We do a podcast with him.
Oh, is that a shameless plug?
Yes, actually. Actually, you know what? If you're not aware, because I don't think we really mentioned it on here that much.
And we don't have a promo for that show yet.
we don't even have a promo yet. We do a Star Trek podcast called The Topic is Trek at The topic is trek.com. Hey, that was a preemptive, Bill.
I was shooting for the first one.
Yeah. So go over there, check it out. We record bi-weekly, and sometimes we put stuff out a little off from that, but go check it out. Yeah, topicistrek.com.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And we will tell you more related to that at the end of the show. Okay, we have a Remember When, and I believe you spotted this one, so your turn. I did the cats. You get this one.
Yes. I love seeing pictures like this.
Oh, wait a minute. We didn't do the Remember When music, did we?
Yeah, do it. Do it.
What?
Let's get in the mood.
Okay, we have to talk over so YouTube doesn't flag us. Go ahead.
Yeah, so keep talking. Actually, I like seeing these old pictures of behind the scenes of famous movies, especially some of these movies that have iconic scenery like Blade Runner. And this article has a lot of great behind the scenes of them building the scenescape, or the cityscape, excuse me, that we see as Deckard and everybody's flying through.
The first really image looks really cheesy, though. It looks like he's setting up cardboard on a card table or something on sawhorses. Yeah. Like, really?
So this, he says the artist drew black silhouettes in progressively reduced scales over reference photography of the El Segundo refinery. They were arranged on a 12 by 24 artboard panels from which the lithographic films were made. The acid etching supplier used the films to print stencil masks on 12 by 14 brass sheet stock for etching and silhouettes. So this is to get things going. If you look further down, you'll start seeing some of the fruits of that labor.
Yeah,
where they start.
It got way more complex with the.
The
painting and the lighting and
the lighting, the fiber optics for the lighting just looks ridiculous. It looks like somebody's hair got a little frazzled, and it was a little too humid out that day.
Well, and fiber optics were still pretty new back then.
Yeah, you remember? I remember seeing lamps, that had like the fibers hanging out, in the 70s. But that's kind of what this looks like, But can you imagine having to take one, put it here, take one, put it there, take one, put it.
The way they did like the model of the Enterprise D, right? Didn't they put the fiber optic and DS9 had a whole bunch of fiber optics in there, but that was in the 90s.
Yeah, but still, I'm just imagine doing that. That's very laborious. So anyway, and I'll read a little bit of this article. In 1982, Ridley Scott's Blade Runner set a distinctive tone for the look and feel of many sci-fi future film noirs to come, taking advantage of stylized production design, art direction, and visual effects work. Supervisors Douglas Trumbull, VES, this is his title, Richard Urici, and David Dreyer. Where have I heard that name, David Dreyer, before?
Let's go to Where Are They Now?
Yeah, so via Entertainment Effects Group, oversaw Blade Runner's Oscar-nominated visual effects. Work that was completed at the time when practical effects, miniatures, optical compositing, and real film, in this case, it was 65 millimeter film, were the norm. On the eve of the release of Denis Villeneuve's Blade Runner 2049 sequel, VFX Voice, which is the website we're reading this from, revisits the miniatures of the original film of chief model maker Mark Stetson, VES. I want to look that up, VES. He and his crew of distinguished artists helped develop many of the film's iconic settings and vehicles, including the opening hardest landscape. In the Tyrell Corporation pyramids, the Spiner, and the other flying vehicles, the advertising blimp, and the Los Angeles cityscape of 2019, which is next year.
I was watching Space Seed on Star Trek TOS. Speaking of Star Trek that we were pimping a little while ago. And of course they said, that the Botany Bay took off in the early 1990s, the eugenics wars, so we kind of missed that. But they did say that, they used sleeper ships for longer travel until faster travel was available in 2018. So any day now.
in the fourth quarter.
It's sort of like when you're watching. I watched Blade Runner in 2016 and go, hey, that model just came out like 2 days ago.
Yeah. It's going to happen in the fourth quarter of 2018.
Yeah. They don't tell you exactly when. As long as it's somewhere in 2018, they met their match.
Well, when the writer was sitting there, you probably go like, okay, yeah, let's make it 2019. That's a good ways away.
Yeah. Hey, it was 50 years from when they shot the show.
I know.
You got to be optimistic that you might have space travel in 50 years.
Yeah, but go look at these pictures. You can probably find more elsewhere, but this is really cool, and I love the craftsmanship that went into this, because if you look, there's details that he's building out in these pictures that we will probably never even saw,
right?
Or just
or may not have even made it on camera. They were sort of just there in the periphery.
Yeah, that's true too.
A lot of work, painstaking work, and we've got some of the pictures on the video that you see here, but you can find out more if you go to the show notes at chuckchat.com/Technorama and go into episode 531. There, somewhere I had a bell.
I barely hear that bell. Yeah,
there.
Oh, there we go.
I had to get it closer to the front desk.
Ring my bell.
Oh boy! Quick, who sang that song?
Oh man, if you hadn't asked me, I could have told you. I just looked it up the other day.
We're going to soldier on then.
Yeah.
All right, we want to thank our patrons. That's what we need. This is where we thank the people who bring you this show, because it is sponsored by our patrons over at patreon.com. You can find that at patreon.com/Technorama Podcast. And people who give as little as $1 a show. As little as $1. $1! You know how much we get paid if every listener gave us $1? Nothing.
30 cents. I don't know how we work that.
How do you have 0.3 listeners? Well, the average person only listens to about a third of the show. So there you go.
Hey, well, it's gotten weird here before.
Kyle Nishioka, Avner Braverman, Ben Vaughn, Mike Wills, Megapodtastic, Night Gig Studios, Gary Lindros, John Clifford, thank you very much. Leon, John Noble, not that John Noble,
what?
Chris MC, Alexis Duran. Just now you guys got me doing that. Saturday Morning Media, Steve Therian, Yorga Shrawen, and your name here. Your name could be here if you want to join the ranks of these people by going over to patreon.com/Technorama Podcast. We greatly appreciate it. We'll give you a shout out, and we'll give you extra content that is only available to these people. It is at least twice as good as our regular show.
Yeah, right.
Which ain't saying much. Thank you very much, and we will turn off the music now. Bring that back up, because we are going right into the Media Corner.
Welcome to Blockhead Video.
Hey, where can I find some good information about music and TV and videos and things?
And things.
Over here, in the Media Corner.
And things from io9.com. Peter, the newest star of Deadpool. Have you seen the Deadpool final trailer?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Well, one, I've stated I'm a trailer junkie, so I do watch trailers often, and especially for Deadpool.
Did that make you trailer trash? But I think I've used that joke before.
Maybe.
Craig sits down with a box of popcorn and watches trailers.
Yeah, I stack them up in my watch later queue on YouTube.
It's Saturday night. We're watching trailers. And then you can tell Danny Hillcrest on Clinton's podcast what the movie's
right.
about.
Yeah.
Anyway, Peter, the new star of Deadpool 2, has a real Twitter that's an absolute delight. The mustache is totally aerodynamic, it says.
You saw the trailer for this, right?
I did.
Okay.
The latest and final trailer for Deadpool 2 added a new member to the X-Force. Peter. He doesn't have any powers. He just responded to the ad. And as it turns out, he's got a dadtastic Twitter presence. Scrolling through his Twitter feed, you can find out a lot about this guy. Peter W., also known as PeterX_1974, has been using the social media site to share beekeeping advice and refusals to try drugs for almost a month now. Well, I thought they were going to say like since 2008 or something.
Yeah,
for almost a month. Okay, so now you know it's just a studio making this crap up.
Right.
It's not a real person. That would have been funnier if it was. So what else did we find out about Peter? What are his likes, dislikes, fears, and dreams? Well, there's the beekeeping, but his profile also says he loves sports and grilling. He wears Skechers shape-ups. He's not so easily fooled by photoshopped animals, except all the times he is. He's religious, and he enjoys 90s sitcoms, and there's a big poster of Friends.
Right. Yeah.
Wow. But Peter's really not a fan of curse words or R-rated films. Oh, then he's not going to watch Deadpool 2.
He's not going to watch his own film.
Let's see. Looks like I'm not going to read the tweets. They're not friendly for this show. Which begs the question, how's he going to hang with Deadpool and his merrier band of misfits? And oh yeah, his wife is probably cheating on him with her personal trainer, but through it all, he stays positive. Hope everyone's having a beautiful day. Hashtag beekeeping puns.
Yeah.
I scoured his Twitter account for any hints and clues of what we can expect from this new guy in Deadpool 2, but he's keeping mum for now.
You know what? I have this weird feeling he's going to be like the guy that, solves whatever problem they're working on in the film.
By accident?
Yeah. It's like, they go through all this stuff, and Peter's the one that ends up saving the day, whatever they're doing.
Hey, Peter, watch your cornhole. All right, movie cross-reference there for those who got it. Craig, would you like the follow-up story? I don't think we've had a follow-up story since we did Hitchbot.
Hitchbot. Yeah. So we mentioned the HD vinyl. HD as in high fidelity vinyl.
High HD doesn't stand for high fidelity. HD HF stands for high fidelity.
I'm sorry.
HD is high definition.
You can read my mind.
Vinyl's already high fidelity.
So HD and HD vinyl, and is it legit? So last week, a nerdier segment of the music world was abuzz with the news that an Australian company, Rebeat, had taken $4.8 million investment to bring HD vinyl records to the market by mid-2019.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? HD vinyl? Why does one make a last analog music storage format that people still care about? High definition. People want to say fidelity. It screams pure marketing, buzzword ships, etc. But we consulted with some experts, and surprise, it seems that there's reason to be cautiously optimistic. Now, generally speaking, it is pretty rare to hear complaints about vinyl not sounding good enough. That's generally why people still like to listen to it. It sounds good. Well, and that the hipster crowd, hipster cred. But the thing with audiophiles is that there's no such thing as good enough. It can always be a better, closer reproduction of the sound that came out of the actual instruments and voices. Try going to a concert.
You know what I just thought of? The Columbia Record and Tape Club could make a comeback.
Oh, please, God, yes.
Oh, didn't they just shut down like a few years ago? We did a story on that.
Yeah, it did. It was probably, I can't remember.
Only like 2 years ago or 3 years ago. It was crazy. Yeah. Like, what? They're still around.
I know. That was the story, actually. So HD vinyl aims to make improvements, and that's not a bad thing if it can pull it off. So I'm going to scroll down a little bit. So what is HD vinyl? For starters, know that HD vinyl records you buy will be materially the same as the records your grandpa bought.
Hey, careful. Careful.
As in, they'll be still made of vinyl, and you can still play them on a standard turntable with a standard cartridge. So no, it won't be like a DVD versus Blu-ray, or I was thinking more like was HD? What was the HD disc? It was
Laserdisc.
There was a standard between Blu-ray and HD DVD or something like that. Anyway.
Oh yeah, that was two different formats. That was a VHS Betamax thing.
Yeah. So what makes HD vinyl different is the process that goes into making them. The process for making a standard record typically goes something like this: a master recording, frequently digitally frequently digitally these days, is played through a machine that cuts a lacquer disc.
Yep.
That basically, like the one-sided records that should be the most faithful analog reproduction and sound you can get.
Yep.
It will be inspected for errors by engineers, musicians, recording artists, and what have you. And if it passes, then it gets electroplated.
Yep.
Excuse me. This is a chemical process that essentially gets the metal, typically nickel, all up into grooves of the lacquer.
Yep.
All up into grooves. Once set, the metal disc is popped off, and it essentially inverted a copy of the lacquer disc. So you make a mold, essentially what you're doing. I was going to scroll down and say, will HD vinyl be noticeably different? From the listener side of things, the most definite difference will be, or may be, that HD vinyl will supposedly be able to cram 30 to 40% more music on the LP. That's a lot.
You get a whole hour.
We asked Loibel, I guess there's somebody, I skipped over his name in the article, if they accomplish this by somehow making the grooves narrower.
Nope.
Turns out it's sort of the opposite. 30% more content does not mean narrower grooves, which I would think things were kind of compressed a little bit. Loibel told Gizmodo, we just optimized the space between the groove. Yeah, that makes sense. That's actually what I was saying. It was kind of pushing together.
I'm reminded of that Bob and Doug McKenzie album, The Great White North. He says, when you're playing your record and there's that space between the songs and there's nothing there, that's what we call black holes.
Black holes.
And there's one track on the album where it's moving between the songs, and all you hear is black holes.
Yeah, black holes. That's funny.
I have that down here somewhere. Don't make me dig that out.
I'm sure you do. We just optimized the space between the grooves, the black holes. The size of the groove will be 100% like on traditional vinyl. We can even go one step further due to the high precision laser and wear less stampers. We can provide what we call a perfect groove. The shape of the groove in the HD vinyls doesn't change, so it will be possible to produce needles that fit perfectly in the grooves, which is not possible yet. The additional content can be used for more volume or better dynamic or longer playing time or a combination of all these three. So yeah, that's where the 30% comes by, because they can cut the grooves closer together and the needles will still fit in the grooves. So yeah, it makes total sense. Cool.
It's interesting. We'll have to see if this catches on, if it's worth the $8 billion that they're putting into this, that they can make a return. Apparently, it's going to make the production faster and more accurate, is really what it boils down to. So the demand is going up for vinyl, and they're going to be able to keep up with that demand, which is a challenge today.
Yeah. I look back and when I DJ'd, I had a bunch of records, and over the years, I kind of let them go, and I wish I still had them.
I wonder if they're going to do 45s as well. If 45s are going to make a comeback, or if it's just 12 inches.
I don't know. You
LP EP format.
I mean, 45s were cool, but I don't really see. Most of the albums have a concept to them, and the songs are strung together. So I don't know that you're going to see 45s more or less than, like I said, albums again.
So 45s might be a dead format. Oh man,
I'm guessing. Yeah.
I think I still have my little adapter hub.
Yeah.
All right.
I saw a logo the other day, and that's the first thing I thought of. I was like, "Hey, that looks like one of those 45 adapters."
Is that somebody's logo? Was it like the S shape with the three spokes?
It was. That's exactly right. It was like center, and they had like the S's that came out. I was like, that looks like a 45 adapter.
It's a good logo. We should have thought of that.
I know. There's still time.
Only our shows all start with T. Technorama, Tech Now, Tech Shorts. The topic is Trek. We're not getting very original here.
No.
Alrighty, we have a question for you.
Uh-huh.
This is a toughie, because there's so many to choose from. What is your favorite quote?
And it can be an inspirational quote. It can be a quote from a movie or whatever.
I like the one that's right next to the return key, without shifting. A single quote. I use that more than anything.
My favorite quote was from Pee Wee Herman, the Pee Wee Herman movie, where he says, "Was it
Everyone's got a big butt, Simone."
Yeah.
Let's talk about your big butt.
I was thinking who he's talking to. He goes, "Come on, Pee Wee, you got to do that." And he says, "But everybody's got a big butt." I love that line.
Let's talk about your big butt, Simone. Alrighty, we have some appearances coming up that we want to remind you of. Craig will be in Phoenix at the Binary Studio West. That would be this studio. For Technorama, we'll be in studio on May 13th, 2018. We have no idea who else is going to show up. There are several locals invited, but if you are in the area,
I'll be there.
Craig will be here. That's the important part. I will be in London, Paris, and Rome between the dates of May 19th through 24th. If you're interested in doing a quick meetup.
Is that the Chuck Con World Tour?
And, that's the Tomasi family European vacation.
Hey, don't make it turn out like Chevy Chase's one.
No, I never saw that movie. I thought one is enough for that series. Done.
No, it wasn't great, but there was some funny stuff in it.
I did see I did see Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, that's a classic.
We will both be at Dragon Con August 30th through September 4th in Atlanta, Georgia. Hope to see you there. And, of course, there's the Star Trek cruise next January that will be going. Hope to see you there as well. Did I miss anything, Craig? There may be the occasional business trip to San Diego or Santa Clara, but we'll let you know how those go.
I hadn't had those in a while. Hey, when I saw the Star Trek Cruise 3, I kept thinking, the search for Spock.
You keep searching for him. I don't think he's going to be on that cruise.
No, I hope not.
I did think of a easy cosplay, though. You could dress up in old Western gear and just walk around going, "Peace and tranquility, friend." See who gets it. There are so many easy costumes to do on Star Trek, aside from the usual Starfleet uniforms. Anyway, topic for another show. If you want to find out more about that, topicstrek.com.
I think you should pack your free awkward hug.
On the cruise? That's not a bad idea. Our spouses haven't witnessed that yet.
I know.
Except in pictures.
If we want to remain spouses, we may not want to take that.
Probably. If I hug too many strangers, she's not going to hug me back. Rotovirus says. All right, let's get out of here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you want to get in touch with us, call us on the listener line, 707. Thank you, dear, for putting that up on the screen. 707-530-2428. That's 707-530-CHAT. You can email us, technorama@chuckchat.com, or find us on the social interwebs. Technorama Podcast is what you want to search for. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Patreon. You can help support us and keep this show going. There's all kinds of different ways to do that. And thank you for the emails, those of you who did send that in. I neglected to get the question of the week out. I need to put that on my weekly to-do list. Ask question of the week on Saturday. So one more of these, then we're going to have a week off, but we will come back at you soon. Give us a binary high five, Craig.
Now, this is a famous quote for you. 101.
Is that famous yet?
It is in my mind.
You're a legend in your own mind.
Yeah.
All right, that takes us to the end of the recording. Thanks for watching on Facebook. Thanks for watching on YouTube. We appreciate it very much. And don't forget, subscribe to our channels, and we will talk to you again soon next week. Thanks. Bye.
See you later.